for teenagers, their bodies are changing, a lot is changing, but what changes mean you should take your teen to the doctor? This morning, meet a Northland mother and daughter who told me attentive coaches and a caring community helped them overcome a shocking cancer diagnosis. 8th grader Kendra Littlejohn missed this.
And I wanted to see my friends.
Back in class at South Valley Middle School in Liberty and looking forward after a journey she never expected. One of the first signs came when she decided to try cross country last year.
And I felt sick all the time and really tired.
But then it was time for wrestling, the sport she loved.
Kind of like being tougher than a lot more of the boys at my school.
She's already been wrestling for years.
And she was just fierce, like, she just wanted to do it.
I'm a little biased, but it's probably one of the hardest sports that you can do.
Her wrestling coaches couldn't wait to have her back.
She doesn't give up any excuses.
But they say the Kendra who came back last fall was different.
She was going off and having to take so many breaks. That's not usual for her.
Well, my stomach would hurt a lot, and I don't know, I feel like I would have headaches.
Like over the summer, we'd been to our primary care doctor and we had shared concerns about bleeding.
But Catherine admits, as mom and dad, it was tough for them to know what changes were normal or not for their growing teenage daughter.
We were like, hey, what's with your attitude? Like, did you eat today? So I honestly was just trying to parent her. I was just trying to be like, this is the clear expectation. We expect you to work hard.
And then there was one practice where it got really bad, kind of where she was shaking and her eyes were kind of doing weird things.
Kendra's coaches decided they had to talk to her mom.
I walked her down there, and that's when I said, hey, something's wrong. Like, this isn't normal for her. I think she needs to go to the doctor and get, checked out.
After a trip to the doctor and some tests, Kendra wanted to go back to practice the next day. Then the doctor called.
And she goes, Kendra's hemoglobin is dangerously low. Wherever she is right now, you need to go home and you need to go get her.
And I was super irritated because I was missing practice.
Next came a trip to the hospital and a shocking discovery, an invasive ovarian tumor called dysgerminoma that no one knew was there.
18 centimeters, so I would say maybe a small cantaloupe. It's not uncommon for it to take a long time to figure out what's going on because pediatric cancers are rare. So it's very often that symptoms have been occurring for months. So I always tell parents, don't feel guilty.
Kendra started treatment, chemotherapy, then surgery.
They took the left ovary out and was able to keep the uterus and the right ovary.
They started using the word cancer after her surgery.
I wasn't really worried about any of it until I heard that I had cancer. I kind of feel like the scariest part to me was losing all of my hair.
That was super hard.
I kind of made a deal with her that I would shave my beard if she was going to lose her hair, so.
And it's just one way. Her family says the community surrounded them with visits, gifts, letters, prayers, and most importantly, hope.
I don't think I know how many people have cared and prayed over us. Like, I would say thousands of people in this community know about it.
After Kendra's surgery came wonderful news.
All of her pathology came back negative with no signs of tumor. So we call that remission.
For Catherine, looking back, the coaches made a huge difference.
I really feel like those men saved her life by saying to me, could you please take her to the doctor? We just don't think something is right.
I mean, our job is to kind of recognize those things, no matter what sport, and ask questions and be involved.
And just excited to see her growth and where she ends up.
And so are the Littlejohns.
I'm definitely going to do high school wrestling. Cannot wait.
Can't do this life without having people around you to support you and like taking the time to notice people.
Lindsay Shively, KSHB 41 News. Isn't that incredible?
That's just one word for it, honestly. And
were you relating to the parent?
to her, what she just said there at the end, you can't live this life without other people around you. And I'm so glad they said what they said, the coaches did. This is our job. And it's not just teaching her how to wrestle, like the awareness of not only yourself, but other people's kids, and being aware of what's going on with other families is so big, and you got to be so thankful for coaches, teachers, people around your kids that pay attention to them just like you do.
To point out a couple of things, it happens so slowly that
Right.
it takes a lot of times people who don't see your kids every day or who
Right.
know them and go, wait a minute,
Yeah.
you know? So that's important to note. And then more from Dr. Fulbright, that's her pediatric hematology oncologist, who said to look for really a lot of fatigue. This is very rare.
Yeah.
But abnormal bleeding, which can be hard to know for menstrual cycles for teens,
Yes.
what that means.
Absolutely.
So another big key is having a doctor that they have a good relationship with, that they can ask those questions, because a meeting with their doctor early in the summer talking about bleeding made the doctor go, wait a minute,
Yeah.
all of these things. So by the way, Kendra is in track now, just had her first track meet this week.
What a story.
Running around, giggling, and mom said, life is good.
Thank you for sharing that. What a great story. God. Well, congratulations to that family on having a happy ending so far.
Yeah.